Well, welcome to Northern Lights Spiritual Center. We're a community of people dedicated to using spiritual and practical principles to create lives we want to live. Here at Northern Lights Spiritual Center, we offer practical and spiritual tools to make positive changes in our lives. My name is Reverend Vaughn Amaré, and I am the co-minister with Reverend Mykal Amaré, who is on the sound and production side of things today. We are so blessed to have here Reverend Pamela Beatty, who is the founding minister here at Northern Lights Spiritual Center. And serving as her practitioner is our wonderful Stephanie Scranton. And if you stay tuned, Stephanie Scranton will be doing the talk the 5th Sunday of this month. So in 2 weeks, if you return, you're going to get to listen to Stephanie inspire us and leave us with all kinds of homework that we are going to be able to.
I've already started thinking about it.
She's already got it in mind. So there you have it. We at Northern Lights Spiritual Center acknowledge our presence on the traditional and unceded ancestral lands of the first people of Seattle, the Duwamish and Salish peoples. These people are still here, and we join with them in how they continue to honor and bring light to their ancient heritage. We seek to resist the erasure of indigenous histories, and as we work towards honoring and inviting the truth. Please join us for our opening song in this very room. You're welcome to sing along, although the people muted on Zoom, your voices won't be joining, but you're welcome to sing along with what you hear, as also on Facebook, and everyone here. Or you can be sung too. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough peace and quite enough power to walk through our every fear. For Spirit, sweet Spirit, is in this very room. In this very room.
Well, while we're waiting, good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
Just allow yourself to get into a meditative state. Relaxing yourself wherever you are. And if you're somewhere where you can put your feet on the floor, please do so. And putting your hands in your laps in an open and upright position, allowing your eyes to close. And to assist us in going into a deep, deep space, us take 3 breaths together. 3 deep breaths together. So let's breathe in and let it go. Breathe in again and letting it go. And one more time in and letting it go. And now let us do a quick survey of our body, starting at our feet and working up to the top of our head, to see if there's any place that's holding on. And if you find such a place, lovingly say, relax, release, and let go. Relax, release, and let go. And so for the next few moments, let us focus on what it means to be one. We are all one. What does that mean? Just be with that. And so let us inhale that oneness, that knowingness. Just simply breathe it in. And now let us take a few moments to focus on how we are unique. To focus on your uniqueness. And so giving thanks for the oneness, for our uniqueness, and how they operate together. And so with that, let us come back into this room, back into this space, with the knowingness that we are one and unique at the same time. And so it is. So this morning's reading actually does come off the internet, but I printed it out because I had to kind of wordsmith it a little bit. So the title is, "We are one, but we are not the same." And the quote is, "To you, I shall be unique in all the world." And that's the Little Prince. We are all waves in the vast ocean of life. As the ocean, as consciousness itself, we are all the same in essence. In other words, there is no you separate from me. That division never ever happened. You are what I am, life itself. But at the same time, without contradiction, each of us is a totally unique wave in that vast ocean of consciousness. We are each individual, indivisible, and irreplaceable expressions of life itself. Your face, your voice, your eyes, your hair, your unique talents and skills and gifts and life experiences, your sense of humor, your loves and passions, your imperfections and your little quirks, your unique flavor, the scent of this totally original flower that you are. None of this orgasmic uniqueness can be denied. For the oneness that we long for and seek is not opposed to uniqueness, just as the ocean cannot be opposed to any of the waves ever. Uniqueness is actually the way in which oneness expresses itself. Each wave is a perfect expression of its source. All of which is to say, it is the denial of our waveness, our unique qualities, talents, attributes, gifts, and even imperfections, the rejection of this never to be repeated expression of life that we are, the suffocation and blockage of this original and unparalleled life energy that is the beginning of our misery. Reject your uniqueness and you will suffer and eventually suffocate. We may be the ocean. We are, we may be the ocean. We are also unique expressions of the ocean, and the denial of either aspect of its paradoxical truth is going to hurt. We are one, yes, but we are also unique, and so it is.
So I'll review the words for this month's chant, which does kind of fit with what Stephanie read. Unity does not mean my conformity. Diversity respects all that I can be. Will I come to see myself as a wave in the ocean, each step I take as the motion of the one. Creation calls to me, sings to me, reaches me as part of its blessing on earth. Unity does not mean my conformity. conformity, diversity respects all that I can be. Will I come to see myself as a wave in the ocean? Each step that I take has the motion of the one. Creation calls to me, sings to me, reaches me as part of its blessing on earth. Now the second time, through, we'll sing you. Unity does not mean your conformity. Diversity respects all that you can be. Will you come to see yourself as a wave in the ocean? Each step that you take has the motion of the one. Creation calls to me, sings to me, reaches me, His blessing on earth. Third verse, we. Unity does not mean our conformity. Diversity respects all that we can be. Will we come to see a wave in the ocean? We take as the motion of the one. Creation calls to us, sings to us, reaches us as part of its blessing on earth. And now finally back to I and me. Unity does not mean my conformity. Diversity respects all that I can be. Will I come to see myself as a wave in the ocean? Each step that I take has the motion of the one. Creation calls to me, sings to me, reaches me as part of its blessing on earth. Thank you.
Good morning. Hello, Zoom family. Hello, Facebook family. Thank you for being here this morning. I'm Reverend Pamela. Thank you for that lovely introduction, Reverend Vaughn. Reverend Vaughn and Reverend Mykal took over this center, 5 years ago?
Yes.
5 years ago, and allowed me to be free, which I am very thankful for. So today, as we have said each time we open, that we are a center that offers spiritual and practical principles for creating lives we love living. So you're going to have a bit of the spiritual and a bit of the practical as well. The spiritual end of it, as has already been described, and our practitioner Stephanie gave a wonderful reading about it, is that we're all one. And that's hard to sometimes fold in because we see ourselves as being separate, which we in fact are. So how do the two go together? Several years ago, I was in Hawaii and I actually got to see the forest that was actually one tree. So you look at it, it looks like a forest of trees. There's a park where all these trees are, but they all come from one tree. The roots are connected at the bottom. It's amazing. Now for you gardeners, I know that you already know this. Trying to cut around your flower bed and remove the grass. And you can tell that it's all coming from the main lawn. There's no one single little blade of grass that's just sitting in the dirt. They're all connected and it's hard as heck to cut them. The same for us. We're all connected, but it's in a spiritual, soul kind of way. We've all been created by one intelligence, and everything has been created by that one intelligence. So not only are we all as human beings connected, but we're connected to all that there is. Okay, so that's getting really big. And yet, as Stephanie mentioned in her reading, we're individual. Those little blades of grass coming up, those trees showing up, they're themselves and yet connected. The only reason we really feel we're not connected is because we decide not. So we still are, but we can other people. That's the current description these days. We other people. I'm not like them. I'm not like them. They're not like me. We're different. That's the othering. And it's all in our heads. When I was living in California and eating my dinner by myself, because I live by myself, so I ate dinner by myself frequently, to make myself remember the connection, I would say a thank you to all of the people who helped get that dinner in front of me. The people who grew whatever I was eating, the people who delivered it to the stores, the people who marketed it, the people who designed the packages, the people who tended it, the people who harvested it, the people who drove it. If I started to count, it would be thousands. Nothing, except if I grew it in my garden, and even there I would have had to have gotten it from someplace, and we'd still have a whole trail of people that had something to do with getting it to my plate. So in fact, I was never having dinner by myself. The important thing to remember, if the concept of everybody being connected is a little, I'm not so sure about that, is to think before you other. They're not like me, I'm not like them, we don't want the same things, and maybe not, but we're connected. And what that does, if we think in terms of connection, just think about it. Historically, the peoples of the earth have othered everybody since we crawled out of the slime of the process, crawled up on the beach and morphed into people. We've been othering them. It's actually wired in the back of our heads, in that little brain stem. It's primitive. My tribe, not my tribe. But we can overcome that. And in this time, it's so important to be a part of overcoming that. So we've moved from the spiritual to the practical, and now let's move to another piece of this. Though we are all connected, all created from the same intelligence, we are also unique. And here's where I get excited. So often, we don't appreciate our uniqueness. I'm going to tell on my father. Don't tell my father I told on him. My sister's here. Don't tell Dad I talked about him, please. But my father has had any number of jobs. But he's also been very creative. He's been a photographer, a videographer. He even paints or painted. Thinks he can't. He sang. He played the guitar, the piano, the trumpet, and now the ukulele. And he did a little ukulele group for folks, not even old folks. It's young and old. He did this as unique or special to him. I have been telling him for years, you have a beautiful voice, you should sing. You did lovely photography. Not everybody can do photography. I can't. I tried. I gave that up. None of this to him is unique or special. He thinks if he can do it, everybody can do it. So often we have talents and skills and gifts that we don't recognize or we don't embrace. And it's the reason I get excited about that is it is so much fun to open up and see who you are. Now, granted, there are some of us, maybe many of us, who can certainly tell who we should be. I should be this and I should be that. And then there are other people telling us, you should be this and you should be that. But yet, there is that within us that's just waiting to walk out into the world. We have these gifts, the uniqueness that is us. Is just, the world is waiting for it. It's like, waiting. And we get to choose what uniqueness we want to present. Now, it takes a bit of courage. We have to be willing to try stuff, maybe stumble, maybe make something, create something that's not exactly what we wanted. I have a number of ugly paintings in my garage. I didn't destroy them. I just put them in the garage, and every now and then I just paint over them. You can do that with acrylics and oils. You just put a new ground on, paint over it, it's great. So part of from opening up to our own uniqueness is the fear that it won't be perfect. Where are my perfectionists? Raise a hand. Zoom people. Any perfectionists in there? Okay. In the room, they're claiming it. I didn't. Oh, there's a hand. Thank you. Oh, there we go. See, I knew it. So, we got this perfectionist thing going on. It's got to be right. It's got to be perfect. Now imagine, I'll use myself as an example. I go to the canvas. I look at this white canvas. It's a big canvas. That means I've spent a lot of money on that canvas, and I'm going to have to put a lot of paint on it. And all I can think about is, well, will it be perfect in the end? So how far will I get with that paintbrush if I let that thought stay with me? So to overcome it, I started painting little paintings. I took a class, and the man said, you're going to paint a painting a week, and they're only going to be this big. That way you don't have to worry about the big canvas and the lots of paint. Oh, what an expense. You just do it. We did bunches. So now I'm back to the big ones, and I'm just trusting in my own creative spirit that it's going to come out all right. And guess what? If it doesn't, I could just paint over it and do it again. So there. So this perfection thing, I mean, who's doing the judging then? And then there's the, well, what if I fail? Well, there's all kinds of people. What is it? Edison and the light bulb, and I don't know how many hundreds or whatever times he tried until he finally got the light bulb and gave us light. Thank you very much, Mr. Edison. He didn't let failure stop him. Many people who have created things that we say, oh, that's wonderful, have 100,000 failures behind where they got what they wanted. And had they given up, there would be a number of essential things we would not have. So once we take our little, you know how you have that critic that says, it won't work, it's not perfect, nobody's liking it, nobody's going to buy it, you can't do that because you're too this, that, or the other. You know that little chorus in your head that just travels with you and shows up whenever you're trying to do something or even thinking about doing something. It shows up. Well, you can build the other chorus that says, oh, come on, just give it a little try. Come on, just work on it a little bit. You know, you did it before, you can do it again. Why not? It's a matter of shifting our thinking. For example, once again, I'm going to tell on myself, not my dad this time. I'm taking this technical online course. You don't want to know. It is not my favorite thing to do. I procrastinate like a cat getting ready for a bath. No, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Don't put me in there. Those of you who have cats, you know what I'm talking about. Dogs are a little better. Babies are better. Cats, not so much. Well, that's how I feel about this piece of technology. And I was thinking literally yesterday, wait a minute. I have been dealing with technology as a corporate recruiter. I don't know how many different applicant tracking systems I've worked with. I've helped implement 3 of them. So I've been sitting here telling myself, I'm not techie, when actually, that's not true. So my chorus over here, you know, the one I said to get rid of, it said, well, you may have been techie over there, but this has AI, artificial intelligence. It's more esoteric than your applicant tracking systems. Well, the applicant tracking systems got very interesting because sometimes they made sense and sometimes they didn't. And it all depended on who designed them and how they were combined in. So there was definitely a challenge to live up to them and get into them and make them work for what my client wanted them for. So I'm still saying, Pamela, you do have a technical bone in you. What's getting in my way is me listening to my chorus that says, it is too hard, it's artificial intelligence, my screen doesn't look like their screen, it takes too long. You got the picture. So I'm putting my little chorus on holiday. I'm sending it to Bavaria. Nice. And I'm going to keep the other one that says you did it before, you can do it again. So I'm still feeling out there some folks with things that are waiting to come out of them who haven't heard why or how they should go about bringing that out. Well, you have these gifts. And a friend told me once, Pamela, who are you to decide whether or not you give your gift? Because you're afraid somebody won't want it. Or it won't be good enough. Or whatever it is I'm afraid of that week. Because it changes. Who are you to decide that? Put it out there. And it's like that parable that I learned when I was a little kid in my mama's Baptist church, where Jesus was throwing out seeds. And some fell on, in my mind, because I was a kid, I didn't know what it looked like over there in Jesus' days. Some fell on the cement, and they were eaten by the birds. Some fell into fertile ground, and they grew, and there were places in between. Well, that's how we deal with our gifts. We don't decide it's only going to fall out on concrete and nobody's going to, or it'll be eaten by the birds. We put them out there and see where it takes root, because as we express ourselves and share our gifts, we enhance the lives of others. In my Zoom group right now, I have my former dance teacher, Deborah Floyd. I danced with her, I think, 20 years back, maybe a little more, but I danced with her from 1980 until 20 years back. So, a long time. And she now put out since we've been sheltering in place, a Zoom cardio dance class. I don't know how much thinking Deborah did about, oh, will anybody sign up? Does anybody want to do this? We're all getting older. Will my friends who used to dance with me remember me? I don't know if Deborah went through all of that. Maybe she did. But what I do know is she put it out there, and we just happened to reconnect, and she said, and by the way, now I have been saying to the universe, I want a dance class that understands my body now. Oh, we won't go into that, but you know what I'm saying if you're over 32.
Sure.
And I am having, we are having, because there's a bunch of us on there, we're having the best time. Cardio dancing, and if it gets too hard, Deborah can only see the upper half of me, so I might cheat on the bottom. Now you know, Deborah. But I'm having the time of my life, and I have my exercise class that I told the universe I wanted. And I'm a happy camper because she chose to share her gift with us. So there's a reason to take whatever that gift out. Maybe you want to be an actor. Maybe you want to be a writer. Maybe you want to be a children's book writer, or I don't know, maybe you want to cook. Or maybe you want to do technology and teach people how to work through Zoom. I read or heard that one campus, university, had opened their campus to teach people, to give them lessons on how to use Zoom. I think that's kind of funny myself. But a lot of people don't know how, so somebody's sharing their gifts of teaching and knowledge of technology. So I don't know what gift you're sitting on, but I truly invite and encourage you, speaking of homework, to look inside and see what is it in you that you want to share with other folks. We have another person on the Zoom audience who decided to create a neighborhood library book thingy where you put the little box out on the sidewalk and people put in books that they don't want anymore, and they can take books that they haven't read, and it's for free, and it's all kinds of books. And Cheryl, I don't know if that's still going on, but I did see one in another neighborhood, and I thought it was the cutest thing ever. They had a little birdhousey kind of a thing and all the little books, and what a delight to be able to just walk down the street and get a free book. I'm for that, and what a delight to have a place to put them where somebody else can use them. But that was Cheryl's idea. That was the bit of creativity that came out of Cheryl. So we've got these things in us. We don't know how they're going to roll. We don't have to know that. Our job is to take those gifts or those special somethings in us that are saying, me out there, I want to dance, I want to be a part of the world, put me out there. To take those things, overcome our fear of, what if nobody likes it? You can always put it in the garage. What if nobody buys it? Oh well. What if I don't do it right? Well, it's a learning process, and you'll get better. Keep the little people on the left shoulder that are telling you, you can do this, it's okay, it's needed, people want it. Leave the right shoulder in Bavaria and give it a try. You have nothing to lose, life is short, and then well, you know. So, why not? Let it out. Why not? Just go for it. Make a Grand Canyon leap to the other side of allowing the uniqueness of you to come out into the world. So in closing, I'm going to say that there is a power, an intelligence that has created all that there is, and we are one with that power. And because we are one with that power, we have the power within us to create lives we love living. We have the power within us to express ourselves fearlessly, creatively, energetically, daringly, however we want to do it. We can do that. We've got the power, the intelligence, the creativity within us, just waiting to support what we want to do and where we want to go and how we want to be in the world. And so I am thankful that we are embracing ourselves, our gifts. We are accepting the passions within us that we have perhaps repressed or dismissed or been told don't matter. We are letting go of all of that and stepping boldly and brightly into the world with the myriad of gifts that we have to offer that are unique to each of us, because the way we express it is unique. I am thankful for that, and I am knowing that as we hear and listen and think and feel today, that we are opening up ourselves and expressing the who that we are and the gifts that we have. We are expressing to the world, knowing that we are helping to add to the joy, the beauty, and the goodness all around us. Knowing that to be the truth, I release my word into the universal mind, knowing that it has heard what I have said and has already acted upon it, and so everything is a done deal. And consequently, I say, Ashe,
Ashe.
Amen,
Amen.
and so it is. So it is. And thank you for being here. Love you all. Thank you.
I want to thank everybody for being here on Zoom and Facebook, and and actually the people in the room, we have a few. And if you would care to donate, we have a website which you can go to, which is Northern Light, excuse me, Northern Light Spiritual Center .com. .com. And just hit the donate button. And we'll be here next week, and next week we're going to have a live musician. David Duvall will be here in the room. And also in February, the Centers for Spiritual Living are doing the virtual convention. They do that every other year. And so we can, as a center, purchase one individual, I guess it's called like a ticket or whatever, which you can view and partake in the convention, or there's a multiples of 5 or more. So if anybody's interested in that, I would appreciate them. They can just send a text, an email, and we'll know which one to go for. And so thanks for this day for each and every person in this room, on Zoom and on Facebook, and those that have ever been part of the Northern Light Spiritual Center, or those who will ever be a part of it. I give thanks for each life that has sprung up and said yes. Yes to their own spiritual journey, whatever it may be. Because that is an important thing for each of us to have, a spiritual journey. And it doesn't have to be the same, because each, like as said before, each of us are unique, yet we are one. And so I give thanks for that uniqueness. I give thanks for that oneness. I give thanks for the gifts that each person brings to this life. And so I say, and so it is. Thank you.
Okay. Ready? Hang.